A church daycare was shut down after they gave the toddlers Benadryl to go sleepy time. A scientist in Antarctica threatened to kill all of his colleagues at a research station. And people are using AI to create influencers with Down syndrome who sell nudes. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast. Let's go. A daycare is shut down after they gave the toddlers Benadryl to make them sleepy for nap time. Well, before we judge, let's find out what these pesky kids were doing. Right? I mean, there's nothing more annoying than, children being all rambunctious. You got to drug them so you can play online chess at your job. You know how that works. This daycare is out of Georgia. A Georgia church's daycare program has been temporarily shut down, and its leadership team was arrested for allegedly giving the kids Benadryl to, quote, make them sleepy for their nap time. Oh, so sad. I guess God didn't give them the strength to deal with highly energetic children, or awake children, for that matter. What's really sad is I'll bet they didn't even try to pray so that the kids would go to sleep first. But on the bright side, guys, at least this isn't another child fight club going on at a school or a daycare. I've covered so many of those. All right, so the details are this daycare is called Forsyth Methodist Church. It's a church at a daycare. And it was temporarily shuttered for placing the health, safety, and welfare of children in imminent danger. Well, I mean, wait till you guys hear about what else religion does to children. But that's all fine and good because it's all tradition, right? This child care agency's order came one day after the Monroe County Sheriff's Office announced an employee at the daycare center was administering Benadryl to the toddlers to make them sleepy for their nap time. The police have accused a teacher named Candacia Hughley of giving the drug, which is advised not to be given to children under age 6 without the consent of a doctor. She gave them to 3 2-year-old toddlers before lunchtime so they would be sleepy come nap time. All of this activity was confirmed by authorities after reviewing surveillance footage of the daycare and speaking with witnesses. Parents reported their toddlers seemed sluggish and not normal when they picked them up from daycare on multiple occasions. The staff didn't tell parents that their children had been given the medication. Well, I mean, the staff in general probably didn't know. It sounds to me like this was the agency of just one of the daycare employees who clearly just, didn't want to do her job. I don't want to work. I'm going to dose all the kids all day. Oh, it says here another daycare teacher reportedly witnessed Hughley giving the doses to children and then reported it to the director. Authorities said the director, Kathy, didn't report it to the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning until 3 days later after the sheriff's office posted on Facebook about the incident. Wow, well, that's obviously the director dropping the ball. I mean, you got to immediately report this. You got to immediately let the parents know, and you got to immediately fire this employee. That's how you do it. And let the authorities know, because maybe she's breaking laws. I don't know. Sounds like it, though. Oh, yes, turns out she is. Hughley has been charged with 6 counts of cruelty to children in the first degree, 2 counts of reckless conduct, and 8 counts of simple battery. And it says here the director has been charged with 3 counts of failure to report child abuse. And it looks like a second teacher named Shelby was charged with 1 count of simple battery and 1 count of cruelty to children. All 3 were arrested on Tuesday and have been since released. And more than likely, they'll get rehired as teachers because there's a teacher shortage out there in the U.S., guys, as you know. Good time to be having kids, huh, guys? Who's preggo right now? Anyone preggo? Feeling real confident? Yeah, I'm sure you are. You got teachers dosing the kids. That's, not to say that the kids shouldn't be dosed occasionally, but not by strangers or teachers. Your own family must dose you. As I was as a child, being from an Irish Catholic family, I was given a little cap of whiskey here and there to go night-night. And look at me, I turned out A-okay, right? I mean, I did take Benadryl in high school, but that's just because I didn't want to remember it. An Antarctic scientist has been accused of threatening to kill his colleagues while they were at the station. Oh boy, this sounds like a movie. Researchers at the Sunay 4 base in Vesleskarvet Queen Maudland sent an urge. Did I get all that right? I don't think I said any of that right. We're in the Antarctic, guys. I'll just say that. It's cold. The sun doesn't shine. You can paint the picture in your head. There's a research base there. I'd imagine pretty claustrophobic. You're probably going through isolation, seasonal depression, boredom, cabin fever, all of these things that might make someone go bananas. So apparently the researchers recently sent an urgent email back to South Africa pleading for rescue, claiming a member of the 9-person team had attacked someone and was issuing further threats. That is a nightmare. Can you imagine? Like, you're so remote that they can't really send immediate help. You call them up. You're like, hey, Derek's going crazy, running around with the chainsaw. Roger that. We're going to send somebody out there. They'll be there in about 8 days. Meanwhile, did you try putting him in a timeout? Now, the agency released a statement saying that the alleged assault was between 2 members of the overwintering team and that the accused has since apologized. Well, that's reassuring. He's sorry, so I guess moving on, right? What's his next mission? You're going to put him up in the space station with some other strangers in isolation? You got to remove this man immediately, man. We all saw the movie, right? The Thing. You got to put this guy in whatever jail cell that you have available over there. You might have to make a makeshift jail cell. You have to draw blood, and then you have to put a hot wire in the blood to see if this guy's been possessed, and then hopefully there's a flamethrower on site, I'd imagine. You guys getting all these references? The Thing, John Carpenter's masterpiece. Definitely a must-watch, and if you've already watched it, must rewatch. Now, the agency says the alleged perpetrator has willingly participated in further psychological evaluation, has shown remorse, and is willingly cooperative to follow any interventions that are recommended. He has written a formal apology to the victim and is willing to verbally apologize to all members at the base. Cut to, this guy's got he's got a gun to the head of the person writing this email to headquarters, and everyone else is tied up. How do you know? You got to send somebody to investigate this. You can't just take their word for it. A verbal apology. These are extenuating circumstances when you're on a research base in Antarctica. The department claimed that they've done enough. They said they immediately activated a response plan to engage individuals involved through trained professionals in order to mediate and restore relationships at the base. So you tried to calm down a murderer through Zoom? Good job. They say this process has been ongoing on an almost daily basis in order to... Daily? This guy's issuing threats daily? Wow, and what do? You can't exactly just open the door to a research station in the Antarctic and run away. It says here, the team down there spends long months of winter 2,500 miles from South Africa's nearest point on the base, where typical temperatures are below minus 20 Celsius and wind speeds can near 150 miles per hour. Yeah, that's when you just kick the dude out the door. Oh, you're threatening to kill us? Yeah, you're out the door. I'm okay, guys, I swear. I want to come back inside. Really, I'm all better now. Now, the organization claims that they follow a very detailed and thorough process when they recruit staff who they believe are prepared to live in such confined and testing living conditions. But there are often issues that arise mentally and physically when you're in a predicament like that. Each team member goes through independent and professional psychometric analysis to ensure they are able to cope with the isolation and that they are able to work and live with others in the confined space of the remote bases. Only candidates who do not have any negative outcomes from all the background evaluations will be considered for appointment. Yeah, I mean, you can run all the tests you want, but until someone is actually experiencing it, it's just simply not the same, and people can break down. So you need major safeguards in place, and probably, I don't know, a soldier? Like, where, isn't there a soldier there, something? I don't know. Get one of those Navy SEALs. All you need is one. The article here ends with one more quote from the agency saying, even though all of the assessments and evaluations show no areas of concern, it is not uncommon that once individuals arrive at the extremely remote areas where the scientific bases are located, an initial adjustment to the environment is required. Yeah, adjustment. Just a little bit of adjustment is required. Hey everyone, Jack's having a hard time adjusting. He keeps typing on a typewriter. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. What should we do, Bass?
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
People are using AI to create influencers with Down syndrome who sell nudes. I think I need to read that again. Make sure I'm literate today. People are using AI to create influencers with Down syndrome who sell nudes. Down syndrome nudes. So Down syndrome thirst traps, basically. Wow. Yeah, I think it's about time we just wrapped up Earth. Yeah, we've clearly hit bottom here. I mean, we did some good things. They'll talk about us eons from now. Like, the humans were great at building technologies, but what they did with it, let's not talk about such things. Good thing is that asteroid finally arrived, Okay, well, I mean, now that I'm here, let's get the details. It's probably important to know this. A network of Instagram accounts is using AI to steal content from human creators and deep fake their faces to make them look like they have Down syndrome. Okay, so they're taking regular accounts and they're taking people's faces, using AI to make them look as though they have Down syndrome. I guess that's step one. They then go on to post this AI-modified content to Instagram and other social media platforms, funneling viewers to adult content platforms where they can be monetized. Now, here's where it gets a little strange and demented. New accounts in recent months apparently have started catering to increasingly specific niches and fetishes, including accounts of AI-generated women with amputated limbs and Down syndrome. And this is all fueling what they are calling non-consensual fetishization. That's a tough one. Fetishization and monetization of fake people with disabilities. Now, it says here there are plenty of real influencers with Down syndrome on Instagram and other platforms who share motivational or modeling content, but these AI-generated accounts are not trying to imitate that content, but rather strictly focused on sexualizing the AI-generated personas so they can promote adult content they can then monetize. All right, this is all a little bit confusing. I mean, are they just bringing people to normal adult sites, or the adult sites also feature the women with Down syndrome, or at least the AI-generated women with Down syndrome, which you can't put it past people to have this sort of kink. It's bizarre what people are into and will pay for. I've never seen a person with Down syndrome and thought, gee, I wonder what they would look like with no clothes. I mean, you got to be a special kind of odd. They say don't kink shame. I say F that. I'm a kink shamer. I admit it right here. If your kink is this, I'll shame you. You should be fortunate that all you do is get shamed online. Worse things would happen to you if you were into this in another culture. You know that? Like, if you act dumb, if you act so weird that it's outside of normal social boundaries, then, you deserve pushback from the culture overall. If that's in the form of online shame, verbal shame, so be it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And, I mean, I guess we'll now see if enough people are into this, and then it'll just appear as I assume, a category on Pornhub, right? You might find a category like stepdaughters with Down syndrome, Asian Down syndrome. I hope it doesn't go to these levels, man. What does that say about us as a culture? It's so embarrassing. You ever, listen to Weird AF News and think to yourself, yeah, we're going to need news circles of hell for what's going on right now in the world?
Your data is like gold to hackers. They're selling your passwords, bank details, and private messages. McAfee helps stop them. Secure VPN keeps your online activity private. AI-powered text scam detector spots phishing attempts instantly. And with award-winning antivirus, you get top-tier hacker protection. Plus, you'll get up to $2 million in identity theft coverage, all for just $39.99 for your first year. Visit McAfee.com. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Hello, my friends. This is your host, Jonesy, and I want to thank you for spending a little time with me in my little podcast, Weird AF News. And appreciate your time. I'll keep this very, very brief. This is the outro. Just want to say that tomorrow's Friday, so if you're new to the show, I do an episode every Friday called Florida Friday, where I only do weird news from Florida. So if you happen to come across any weird news from Florida from the week, please don't hesitate to email me a link to the story. It's funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can put the link in my DMs on Instagram as well, @funnyjones. I check that regularly. And follow me on Instagram if you're on there, and say hello while you're at it. Just say hi. If you'd like to support the show, I have a website with all sorts of information on it. It's weirdafnews.com, and from there you can join the Patreon, or you can buy me a coffee. And then there's a link in the description of this podcast where you can also buy some Weird AF News merch as well, if you're into that, like a Weird AF News coffee mug or t-shirt or something like that. Anyways, I guess that's about it. We'll keep it very, very brief today. I appreciate your time. I really, really do. Looking forward to tomorrow's episode. So send me whatever Florida news you got, and we'll try and make the best Florida Friday episode that we can. I appreciate you, and good night.